Welcome back to the Malaysia Money Matters show. It's the 22nd of January 26.
Good to be here.
We got a stack of updates today that honestly feels like a thriller movie script. That we're talking raids, crashes, and some pretty big geopolitical ego trips.
It really is a busy morning. The corporate landscape is shifting fast, and the stakes, they're getting incredibly high.
Let's jump right in with the heavy hitters. IJM Corp and Sunway. The MACC freezes accounts, raids IJM's offices.
Right.
Normally, that signals game over for any pending deal. But Sunway is pushing ahead with an RM11 billion takeover.
It's wildly counterintuitive, isn't it? Usually when the authorities, kick down the door, buyers run for the hills.
Exactly.
The fact that Sunway is proceeding suggests they've done the math and decided the asset value just it outweighs the reputational risk. It's a massive bet.
A huge bet. They're basically saying, we see value here that even a corruption investigation can't destroy.
It's a serious show of confidence.
But while Sunway is holding steady, SMRT holdings, they just fell off a cliff. Their share price didn't just dip, it dropped 65%.
Yeah, that's not a correction, that's a crash. It looks like a classic case of market panic.
So what happened?
Analysts downgraded the stock. They thought SMRT was losing its deployment work for Tenaga-linked. So investors, they saw the headline and just bailed immediately.
Was the panic justified, though?
Well, the company claims it's totally overblown. They came out saying their core managed services contracts are all intact.
So you have a situation where market perception might be completely divorced from what's actually happening on the ground.
Exactly, from the operational reality.
Speaking of Tenaga-linked, they've been busy. They actually pulled the plug on Reneuco, didn't they?
Pulled the plug is, putting it mildly. Tenaga terminated a solar power purchase agreement.
And the fallout.
Reneuco is now looking at an RM45 million penalty. For a PN17 company, a firm already on financial life support, this is a disaster. It's hard to see how they swallow that.
It's not all doom and gloom for distressed companies, though. Capital A seems to be finding a way out.
Finally, the High Court approved their RM 5.51 billion capital reduction. This is the heavy lifting they needed to clean up that balance sheet.
To finally exit PN17 status.
That's the goal.
Yeah.
We also saw the Shamsuddin brothers at Sapura Holdings settle their feud out of court.
Which is good news for investors, right? It means stability at the top.
Yes, and actually, if you look at the rest of the corporate briefs today, there's a real theme of sort of getting the house in order.
How so?
Well, look at the other updates. You've got Malaysia Aviation Group appointing Brian Fung as the new CEO. That's a leadership refresh.
Right.
Caraman Petroleum is buying into Sea-Link, consolidating the marine sector. Even Surreal Capital is aligning politically with a new chairman, Abdul Rahman Dahlan. It feels like companies are stabilizing.
And clearly it's working for some. KIP REIT saw net property income jump nearly 50%.
Exactly. The retail property recovery is real.
Okay, let's shift gears to the political and international stage because things are getting messy. The news about the military graft, we aren't talking about low-level officers here.
No, we're talking about the former top brass, the former Army chief and Defense Forces chief, both facing corruption and money laundering charges. This is unprecedented.
It really is. It signals the anti-corruption dragnet is being cast at the very, very highest levels.
It seems like enforcement is ramping up everywhere. The MACC also found, 3,000 containers of smuggled e-waste at the ports?
Which just exposes a terrifying gap in our border control.
But yes, the regulators are being aggressive. Look at Petronas. They've filed court action to clarify control over oil and gas, which has Sarawak lawmakers furious.
That's a huge fight, federal versus state rights.
And it's escalating. It's getting very tense. And even our trade deals aren't safe.
Right. Opposition MPs are suing the Prime Minister over the reciprocal trade agreement with the U.S. They're arguing about sovereignty terms.
So while businesses are waiting for trade benefits, politicians are bogging it down in legal battles.
Meanwhile, regular infrastructure struggles on. Rapid Rail posted a huge deficit.
RM 603 million in the red. It just highlights that keeping public transport running is a financial black hole right now.
And on top of all that, we might lose a major player. Chevron is negotiating to sell assets here.
They're looking to sell their retail stations and maybe the Singapore refinery. It's a major retreat. When a global giant like Chevron packs its bags, it changes the regional energy landscape.
Before we wrap up, we have to touch on the global headline. Donald Trump. He wants Greenland again.
He's demanding to buy it. Again, the EU actually froze a trade deal because of it.
I mean,
Trump told Davos he won't use force, but here's the kicker. we've reached a point where geopolitical ego is directly derailing transatlantic trade.
It's a lot to process. What's the big takeaway for you today?
Here's the thought I want to leave with you. We have the MACC cleaning house at home with these unprecedented raids, and at the same time, the U.S. is demanding sovereignty adjustments abroad. Are we entering an era where political maneuvering, both domestic and global, becomes the single biggest risk factor for Malaysian equities?
It's certainly looking that way. Something to keep a very close eye on. That's it for today's deep dive. Please make sure to subscribe to the Malaysia Money Matters podcast. Hey there, thanks for tuning in. If you would like a deeper dive into all the investment opportunities from today's news, subscribe to my newsletter at moneymatters.substack.com. I will be sharing a deeper analysis of the key investment opportunities from today's news, including what makes these opportunities stand out and how they fit into the broader market trends. By subscribing to the Malaysia Money Matters newsletter, you will also get exclusive insights on my watch list and portfolio and fundamental reports on Malaysian listed companies.